Every year, millions of people grab a power bank on impulse, plug it in once, and then find out it's dead weight in a bag because it charges too slowly or barely covers one phone. Amazon has thousands of listings claiming to be the one you need, and most of them are the same generic cell in a slightly different shell. I pulled the actual manufacturer specs on 10 real ones to find out which are genuinely worth carrying. Let's start at the bottom. Number 5 is the Anker Power Bank, PowerCore 10K. This is Anker's most stripped-down option, and it earns its spot at the bottom for exactly that reason. It packs 10,000 milliamp hours into a genuinely slim 5.99 by 2.81 by 0.61 inch, body weighing 8.6 ounces. Built around Anker's Power IQ technology, delivering up to 5 volts at 3 amps through a single USB-C port that handles both charging in and charging out. That's the whole Unit 1 port, one function, no digital display, no secondary USB-A output, nothing else going on. The honest catch is that single port design. You can't top up the power bank itself while it's charging your phone because there's only the one USB-C connection doing both jobs. And at 5V, 3A max, you're capped around 15 watts, which is fine for an iPhone, but slow if you're trying to fast charge a modern Android flagship that wants 25 watts or more. There's also no way to glance at a battery percentage. You get a basic LED indicator instead of any real readout. As a verdict, this is the power bank for someone who wants the absolute minimum. Something slim enough to disappear in a jacket pocket that'll get a phone through one bad afternoon. It's not the pick if you're trying to keep multiple devices alive or need any kind of fast charging. Anker also sells nearly identical PowerCore branded 10,000 milliamp hour banks under different generation names. So if you're shopping by search results alone, double check you're landing on this specific single port Power IQ version and not a newer 30-watt variant with a different port layout, since Anker's product lineup reuses the PowerCore name across several distinct hardware revisions. Number 4 is the Belkin BoostCharge Plus 10K with integrated USB-C and Lightning cables. Belkin's approach here solves a different problem than raw power. It builds both a USB-C cable and an MFI-certified Lightning cable directly into the body, so you're never digging through a bag looking for the right cord. The battery holds 10,000 milliamp hours, output tops out at 23 watts, and it supports pass-through charging at up to 18 watts. Meaning you can charge the power bank and a connected device from the wall at the same time. An onboard LED lets you check remaining charge without needing an app or a digital screen. Here's where it gives something back for that convenience. 23 watts split across 2 integrated cables is noticeably slower than the single port fast charging banks further up this list. And because both cables are permanently attached, you're carrying extra bulk and extra points where a cable could eventually fray, compared to a bank that just has a port you plug your own cable into. There's also no USB-A port on this specific integrated cable version, so if you've got an old accessory that only takes USB-A, you're out of luck. Belkin sells several visually similar BoostCharge 10K units, some with 3 ports and no built-in cables, some at 15 watts, some at 20 watts with just a USB-C cable. So if the dual built-in cables are the reason you want this one, confirm that's what's actually pictured and described on the listing before you buy. As a verdict, this is a smart pick for someone who's tired of losing charging cables and travels between an iPhone and a USB-C device regularly, trading top-end speed for genuine convenience. Number 3 is the INIU 10000 mAh 45W fast charging portable charger. This is where the list starts trading built-in convenience for actual charging speed. NIU packs the same 10,000 milliamp hour capacity into a noticeably smaller shell. NIU's own comparisons put it at roughly the footprint of an AirPods Pro case, while still hitting 45 watts of power delivery through a detachable USB-C. Cable fast enough to take a modern flagship phone from empty to a meaningful charge in well under an hour. It's built with what INIU calls TempGuard 2.0, a temperature monitoring system, and the unit is TSA and FAA compliant for carry-on air travel. The honest catch here is that INIU sells a genuinely confusing number of near-identical 10,000 milliamp hour 45-watt power banks under slightly different names. Some with detachable cables, some with built-in cables, some in a stand configuration, all listed separately on Amazon with different photos but very similar descriptions. That's not a knock on this specific unit, but it means you need to actually read the listing title and confirm detachable cable is what you're getting before you order, because ordering the wrong variant by accident is a real risk with this brand's catalog. It's also worth noting this is still a single port design. Once you set the cable aside, you're not getting a secondary USB-A output here. As a verdict, if you want genuinely fast charging in the smallest possible size and you're comfortable double checking the exact listing, this is one of the strongest compact options on the entire list, especially for frequent flyers who care about both size and speed. And here's where things get more interesting, because the next few picks stop being about basic phone charging altogether and start solving completely different problems. One of them doesn't even use a cable to charge your phone at all. Number 2 is the Energizer Ultimate Lithium 30,000 mAh power bank. This is where raw capacity takes over as the selling point. 30,000 milliamp hours is genuinely enormous enough for multiple full charges across several devices before you need to plug the bank itself back in. And it's built with dual USB-C ports alongside a USB-A port, all supporting up to 22.5 watts of output, so you can realistically keep 3 devices topped up from one bank. The honest catch is exactly what you'd expect from a cell this large. It's heavy and bulky compared to almost everything else on this list. Closer to something you'd throw in a backpack for a camping trip than something you'd carry daily in a jacket pocket. And 22.5 watts, while solid, isn't the fastest charging speed available at this capacity tier. Some competing high-capacity banks push closer to 30 watts per port. Energizer also sells a large family of similarly numbered power banks, 10,000, 20,000, and multiple 30,000 milliamp hour models with different model numbers and slightly different port configurations. So this specific listing's exact model number is worth confirming against what's pictured before you buy. Since Energizer 30,000 amp hour alone isn't a unique enough description to guarantee you land on this configuration, as a verdict, if your priority is simply never running out of power across a multi-day trip or an emergency kit, and you don't mind the extra weight, this is one of the biggest genuine capacities on the list for a reasonable output speed. Number 1 is the UGREEN Nexode 20000 mAh 100W power bank. UGREEN built this one around genuine multi-device speed. 2 USB-C ports, one delivering up to 100 watts and a second delivering up to 30 watts, plus a 22.5 watt USB-A port, all fed by a 20,000 milliamp hour cell that recharges from empty in about 1.6 hours using its own 65 watt input. It also includes a digital display showing real-time charging status rather than a vague LED indicator, and UGREEN's own materials state the cells are rated to retain meaningful capacity even after hundreds of full charge cycles. The honest catch is that 100 watt figure only applies to the primary port plug in a second and third device at once, and the total 100 watts gets shared across all 3, so you won't get full speed on every port simultaneously. The same trade-off as the Anker pick just below it. It's also worth flagging directly. UGREEN sells a genuinely large family of Nexode branded 20,000 milliamp hour banks rated at 100, 130, 145, and 165 watts respectively, all with very similar names and near identical product photos, so this specific 100 watt listing needs to be confirmed carefully against the wattage stated in the title, not just the 20,000 milliamp hour capacity, before you order. As a verdict, this is a genuinely strong all-around pick for someone who wants real laptop charging capability, a proper display, and solid build quality without committing to the heaviest, priciest option on the list. So here's how this actually breaks down by what you need. If you just want the smallest, cheapest backup for occasional emergencies, the Anker PowerCore 10K at number 5 does the basics. If you're tired of losing cables and want built-in convenience, the Belkin or the Charmis pick cover that from 2 different angles. If you're an iPhone user who wants a cable-free desk charger, the Anker Nano Magnetic at number 6 is built for exactly that. If capacity is the whole game, the Energizer 30,000 milliamp hour bank at number 3 is hard to beat. And if you need to keep a laptop running through a real workday, the UGREEN, the Anker 737, and the Anker laptop power bank at the top of this list are where you should actually be looking. Which one matches what you're carrying every day? Let me know in the comments and subscribe if this saved you from buying the wrong one.